negotiating on behalf of Denmark, we would normally follow the British lead. And in this regard, it's really important to be aware that the British are really punching, you might say, above its weight. Britain is one of the 3 major member states, and at the same time, Britain is much stronger than the other main member states. So what I found surprising was that the British Civil Service, Whitehall, had not only the resources, the manpower, but also the skills to really run and drive forward the negotiations in the interest of the British, but also, of course, as we were in the interest of the Danes, the Swedes, and also the Finns. So we would normally follow the British whenever there was something coming up. And it was not so that you had a fight between the member states. You would find that the British would drive the negotiations and the opponent would very often be the Commission. So we had this very reluctant British, very reluctant Danish perspective on a number of issues, and we would find that the outcome would very much be what the British had wanted. And I think that is important also from a Danish perspective, because we really use the British, so to say, as the ones spearheading the negotiations, and we would simply not always be in agreement, of course, but we would try to support the British as best we could.
So why do you think the British press has this idea that Britain has no influence within the EU?
I guess that is partly because if you are going to win all these battles that are going on in Brussels, honestly, on a daily basis, if you come out and show that you have won all the battles, you're not going to win the next one. So you have to keep a low profile, which means that probably I shouldn't say it so here, but really I was really impressed by the British, Whitehall, the British Civil Service. They really drove the things forward. They were always very well prepared. They had a lot of people working on the topics. I would work part-time on one. I know there was a small department in the British Civil Service working on the same topic. And if they came out and said, right, look, we managed to squeeze the Commission into the corner, that would mean that the Commission next time and some of the other member states would probably not be as willing to be squeezed into the corner. So I think there are very good reasons why you don't come forward as a diplomat saying that you have won, rather on the contrary. You pretend that you have not won, so you can win the next battle also, obviously.
And do you have any views about the impact of Brexit, so if the UK votes to leave in June, what might be the consequence of that for Danish-Anglo relations, for Denmark?
Well, from the Danish perspective, that would be a disaster, honestly, because since we are so much aligned with the British viewpoints, and since we don't have the resources, that would basically mean that we would have to find another way of pushing our views through, which is likely not to happen, really. So there'll be a vacuum if the British were to leave, and that vacuum has to be filled. And we will probably see what I would call a more integrationist approach from the European Union side, because then you don't have the more realist